Good evening, Speed Gaming 2, and welcome to this presentation of the 2024 Super Metroid Dash Mystery Tournament. On the left side of your screen is Audraxys. On the right side of your screen is crossproduct. It's a mystery, so we all are going to figure out the seed like the runners will be figuring out the seed. My name is JXB Adam. I'm joined in the booth by DJ Webb for comms, and on tracking we have Nubian God. DJ, how's it going this evening?
I'm having a good Friday evening. Hope everyone out there is as well. This should be quite an interesting race. We have on one side our number one seed, Audra, and cross product, the unfortunate, person who got seed number 22, which is one seed away from playing the bottom seed and, having a good time. Or you can have this fate where, Cross has been around for a while, but actually hasn't been competing recently. So I'm excited to see how he does, but it's going to be a bit of an uphill battle here in round number one of our 6-round Swiss tournament as our runners are underway here in the Super Metroid Dash Mystery Tournament. We have so far already gleaned 2 bits of information. Number one, we don't have full countdown for the item split. And number two, we have some sort of starter charge beam because it says 20 up there in the upper right corner.
Yep, I'm going to say that's the starter charge. I think when you get charge plus it's 60, but I could be completely mistaken on that because I make mistakes all the time.
No. So if it says 60, that means you don't have any starter charge. Starter and starter plus both start the same way. You don't know
I
until you
see.
pick one up, if you pick one up.
All right, well, hey, look, chat, I think that we could call that mistake number 1. Bummer. And we're not even down to the morph pedestal yet.
Yeah. So the basic premise here, as a plasma on the Morphball pedestal confirms major minor, as I was about to start talking about what's going on. Mystery means we do not know the settings of the seed we are playing until we figure them out by moving through the world and collecting items. So you can have 3 different item splits, 2 world states. Bosses have 4 different possibilities. There's some extra items that can be around or not. Charge can be vanilla, starter plus. Lots of different features that can be combined in a very, very large amount of different ways, I'm sure. But so far, we know that we are major minor because Plasma's on the Morphball pedestal. If it's Chozo, Morph has to be vanilla. And if it was full, we would have a countdown in the HUD. So typically, the item distribution is the easiest part to figure out, just because it's very difficult for it to not tell you in the first 4 items. And obviously, full tells you immediately. So, happy to know that thus far. And Plasma with starter charge already is a very, very nice start. You're already decently powerful on a beam front, and you can already start, obviously you want to get, a few missiles under your tool belt, but you don't necessarily need that many.
That's right. Finding the plasma beam early, even though it's not as strong as in the vanilla game, because I do believe it's been toned down a little bit for Dash.
Nope,
It's still
this is vanilla plasma.
What's that? This is vanilla plasma?
Yeah, no changes to any of the beams other than potentially charge. As area randomization.
Area randomization.
Now confirmed. We have a portal to the back of East Meridia.
Good knowledge for Audra, and it looks like Cross is going to get the same knowledge. Hopefully saw the door was flashing. Even if he didn't see the door was flashing, he now knows that it is area random.
Cross looks to be considering his options. I'm not sure if he knew that he was going to get iframes, because if you don't know that, it's actually a very scary room. As you can see, he did take some damage, but because you start out with those iframes, you are unlikely to take 2, and he was, able to survive this room.
Yeah, those side hoppers without any energy tanks or any protection are no joke at 80 damage per hit.
That's right. Probably the thing that was on his mind was it was the same way door transition. Obviously, if things are, if you enter a left door and come out a left door, it makes sense that you would, have some iframes, but you do always have iframes when you go through any area transition, so no need to panic. And Cross is fine. He is back into criteria. We're going to have to come back to the top and go somewhere else, potentially get a check of this Bomb Chorizo item, and we'll see where we go from there.
Absolutely. And as far as settings, I think the only other thing that you didn't mention is we do have a randomization for the minor item split, whether it's 3-2-1 missiles, super missiles, power bombs, or 2-2-1, I believe.
2-1-1.
2-1-1. See, oh my goodness. Well, I got bad news for the lone member of chat who said I would only make 5 mistakes tonight. I'm already up to 3, and basically I'm almost at 1 a minute, so we're in trouble, guys. Or girls, or people.
Yes. Everyone out there, thank you for joining us. This is an interesting start. Typically, in the first 3 major checks, you would expect at least 1 energy tank. Thus far, we have none. We did get a spring ball here, a lot of people's favorite item, kind of the mascot of Randomizer for some people. Spring ball, oft neglected in the vanilla game. You know, obviously much easier to collect in Randomizer, where it doesn't have to be in such a faraway place that no one wants to go visit. But
Oh, everybody likes to see the tool, but yeah, Spring Ball, one of those items that vanilla, especially any percent, you are never going to see. Randomizer, you will see it quite often, and there are quite a few Spring Ball specific strats that can be enabled. And here's our first E-Tank down at Terminator.
yes, indeed. See what portals lie ahead on this left side of criteria. Only 5 power bombs means the only other major here in criteria. Basically inaccessible. There are some ways that you could collect it, namely insanely lucky power bomb drops, or if the item at Gauntlet is exactly screw or bombs. But neither runner is going to take that risk, as we have a little bit of a zig and a zag here. Crossproduct has elected to go to the right, where Audra takes the bit more standard path to the left, and has found 2 upper Norfair transitions, one to the croc door and one to single chamber. Not the most appetizing portals you've ever seen. As Cross is trying to do this spring ball strat across the moat, that one I think would have worked, but he was a little bit too far. This is easier input wise than the CWJ, but it is not like still the easiest thing. You have to aim well, and I know how and I forget, so I can't exactly tell you, but that looks like it'll work, yeah, with the unmorphed.
Yep, there it was. And I could actually see knowing the CWJ and having that in muscle memory absolutely messing up the Spring Ball jump across moat, as we've got Red Tower at the other side.
Yeah, and Cross actually, interestingly, did moat first, didn't look at the other transition down there by the crabs, so that's potentially something he may not get back to for a while, as Turian found nice and early. That's good to see. No need to hunt for that in potentially bad places. I do expect Audra will show us what the other portal over here is, but this is a nice place to be, Red Tower. Lots of portals, and here is a nice room with 2 miners for us.
Absolutely. And as you were saying, Turian being found is good. Turian is one of the 3 dead ends that exist in Area Roundo, the other 2 being Kraid and Croc. We need to find Kraid, and depending on where Croc is, and depending on what Croc holds, we may need to find Croc as well.
Yes, as the other criteria portal led to the complete opposite side of Red Tower, so both of our runners are here in Red Brintstar, but tackling it from opposite directions. And Audra has found Main Street and showing off one of the additions to the Dash Randomizer in area. There are several safe stations littered around that do not exist in the vanilla game. They can help you out with certain things. The game can ask you to take one-ways down here, as you see Audra showing. If this is not something that you want to do, things like that can happen, which is hilarious. But we would have been able to just, reset back to that save where, it's really risky if maybe that's not there.
Yeah, if that's a Lower Norfair portal or even East Meridia, I think would have been pretty unfortunate for Audra. But that save station gives a nice way of being able to check that and not forcing a full reset.
That is correct. And we now have a second energy tank. Um, there was a second power bomb up there at the alpha power bombs. Cross product showed that to us. It is the case that two energy tanks is all the logical requirement for any hull runs from portals to and from Bubble Mountain. So because this is not in logic, this tube check Audra's about to do, it's very likely that what it wants them to do is go into Upper Norfair and then leave without getting the items to go to the lava dive chronic boost portal. But it's also possible that there is a good item at the gauntlet. We do have a second power bomb pack to access that now. But
That's
we'll
right.
see.
And remind me, I believe suit restrictions are on for this tournament, correct?
That is correct. And yeah, confirm that what it wants you to do is hull run because East Meridia is not accessible regardless of what's at Gauntlet. So yeah, Audra is actually going to end up completing all of this Red Tower portal information in a potentially slightly more convenient way. We'll see if Audra elects for the same spring ball strat as Cross did, or potentially the CWJ.
That looked like a CWJ attempt and just a little bit late, and now looks like transitioning to a spring ball.
Yeah, I think that might be a sophomore, so you can't hold jump. You'd have to press it, but did get the jump, but a little bit short. Like I said, it's technically easier than CWJ, but it is still finicky. I expect they'll get it with relative quickness. There it is. So yeah, it's gonna be probably a little bit of a laugh to see. Oh hey, the other red rim portals that I didn't want to do now, I can do them now in a much more convenient way, but still gonna get dead ended here. And Cross also, as I said earlier, not checking that crab portal is not going to be punished in any way, shape, or form because found it right there. And
Yep, and in fact, Crush maybe will surmise that that's the way that he needs to go.
yeah, he would be very, very benefited by collecting this E tank that is its phaser. Like I said, two E tanks is all the logical requirements you need for the Bubble Mountain to Portal Hell runs, which looks like is what it wants them to do.
Didn't he get the E-Tank at Spazer and not the one at Terminator? Didn't he go
Oh
right
yeah,
at a
yeah, yeah.
landing
You're
site
right.
just
He hasn't seen
just
Terminator.
to just to throw us off our game?
That's right. That's the tank he doesn't have, not the one at Spacer. So yeah, our runners are going to be pretty close here. Um, I
Yeah.
expect that probably Audra knows that 2E tanks is the logic. Cross, like I said, hasn't been playing as much recently. Might be a little worried when he gets this E tank, but he's got power bomb selected for this. There's a chance he just does gauntlet. It's a lot cleaner for him because he can just kind of go forward, and it's all
Yep.
he can do. So he's gonna figure out that it's possible unless there's another E tank, and then it'll be much easier. But I do believe Audra is potentially looking at an early X-ray play here. Otherwise, I don't know why you would still be in Red Tower.
Early X-ray would be my guess. I know that there are quite a few players who advocate for that, and of course, gonna take the save right before attempting. Not a bad idea.
So yes, we have exactly high enough power bomb there to let us move through. This is a much more popular strategy than it used to be. Audra did not get one of the D boosts to make it to the waivers in time. I think we're going to turn Plasma off, not Spring Ball. I would think I was actually expecting Spring Ball off. I don't know if that momentum messes with you enough to make a difference. As a double jump, nice find here at the Gauntlet E Tank, but again, that is going to be nice for traversal there. As Audra just a little bit short on that D boost.
A little bit of trouble in here in early X-ray, but this, of course, a lot of the highest level runners make this strat look so incredibly easy, and it is very difficult. And double jump, for those in chat who don't know, that is a dash specific item. We could refer to it as baby's first space jump. It gives you one extra jump.
Yes, and super missile and a missile back here for Cross is gonna need to get the second energy tank and then run through Upper Norfair with some speed and some tact. It is not the easiest thing in the world to get through some of these hell runs with only two tanks. The Croc one to Bubble Mountain, there's a Nice little refill there at Nutella for you. But getting to Chronic from Bubble only two, very, very non-trivial as a
And it's
third
an
energy
energy.
tank.
Yep, at X-Ray, and Audra did pull that off, cross picking up the energy tank at Terminator. And I think we'll check the first portal, see Upper Norfair, go check the other portal, see also Upper Norfair, and hopefully we'll continue at that point.
Yep. Like I said, it's kind that you really, really just don't have other options. Otherwise, you might be confused in other situations and like think that you have to like go find something else. But because like you've already checked everything else, it's just do this. So see which cross makes a lot more sense to save health and do this from the croc portal as Audra is going to be making their way back in that direction now.
Yeah,
Took some time.
Audra will have that extra E-tank from X-Ray, so that'll make the hell runs easier. And very fortunate for Cross that that was just an E-tank, not the most punishing item that could have been back there.
Yep, we will see. Because there's a couple of West Meridia portals over in that direction, it's possible that it's semi-convenient to get back there. Obviously, Cross probably doesn't need exactly that E-tank in order to complete the seed, but he'll be fine if he doesn't check it. But it might be lingering on his mind for at least a little bit, and I expect Audra's going to chip save, probably check Gauntlet as well. It makes sense to clean this up. It's pretty quick with the 10 power bombs and all the energy that you would ever want to make it. Well, not all of it, but it's safe with this amount of tanks. So
yeah, and the way that you're going, this is probably the most convenient time you're going to have to check the Gauntlet item. And I thought Audra was going to run right by it because that's what generally happens when I speculate what a player is going to do in any of these seeds.
Yes. So Audra can take minimal damage. We'll have quite the boon. Like I said, that third energy tank will come in handy because Audra, I expect, is going to take the croc door, and then you can just, not take a ton of damage, use Nutella, and then go right to chronic. If you wanted to, Audra is a little bit known amongst the community for liking these lower tank hell runs, which you see Cross is doing. This with two tanks is not in logic. I think even like getting there, it expects 3, and then getting back, it expects 4. So this would have to be Varia or a tank for survival to be around, and that is a tank that's going to allow Cross to survive. But this was never going to be exactly what the seed expected from him at this juncture. It could be, a couple of tanks down the line, which is why sometimes, you're here and you might as well do them. But
yeah, I completely agree. The order of the checks here can be very beneficial. Like you get this E-tank, it's going to make farming up here less, and then it's going to make the next check that much faster. Otherwise, you end up farming a lot more if you don't pick up at least one E. And looked like Cross maybe tried to use double jump to get to the reserve, but then realized, hey, I'm going to go save first.
Yeah, save definitely in your best interest. As Audra is not taking the shorter one, is going single chamber, which signify or potentially just farming a little bit. I think they're going this way though, yeah. So likely wants to be in Bubble Mountain proper to also be checking these items. So we'll see if there is something good around here, or if saying no to these, at least for now, was potentially the better play. Is there something good Cross can hopefully get out of this lava and live to tell the tale? And very nice find the speed booster. That allows you easy access to the left side. But Cross is not going to survive this check.
Not going to make that.
Yeah, this is by far my least favorite item check without Varia. Double jump is actually pretty good because you can kind of fly over the top if you have good momentum. Definitely right to left, but that room. It's just not fun. Like the lava sucks, the enemy sucks. Those projectiles are gonna snipe you when you least expect it. If you want to pick up the miner, you're gonna dip in the lava. Like Go away.
Yeah,
Randomizer.
it's a highly technical room for sure.
Very nicely. If you have to be prepared for that first room as well, because that enemy will knock you off of your block and potentially into the lava. Luckily, one super does the trick. As yeah, Audra hot on Cross's trail here in Upper Norfair. That death is going to be maybe almost as costly as the X-ray. A little bit of fumble on Audra's side. It was obviously Cross did right and
Oh,
then left. Audra did left, right, left. So that was also some traversal time loss.
and Cross again just making it out, only 4 energy, but as I've said at least once before in this tournament, 1 energy is all you need.
That is right. And being in health bomb, everything in here is going to drop energy for Cross. We'll see how he decides to handle this. It's pretty awkward because you have to be able to get to a farm from here, and you need, I'm going to say more than 29 energy to get there, but obviously it's going to take a little bit. And he is looking like he just wants to go to the cool side. He's going to forego the wave beam check. I actually really like that. Got the speed, easy access to the left side. Everything kind of sucks down here. A little bit of a farm here. That's a little bit easier and quicker to get to versus the speed farm. So see if he wants to get all the way up.
Yeah, going to the cool side, it'll give 2 more major checks, and then I think there's 2 more transitions, 3 more transitions up there to check.
Correct. It will be quite the isolation of the chronic boost portal if one or both of our runners decide to do that. This will
No,
be.
looks like Cross once again, because I started speculating one way, has gone the other. Thank you, Cross.
Yeah, you and me both. I mean, if he's saving, it makes some sense. I mean, I was
Maybe
talking about how
gonna,
it's hard to get to the speed farm, and that farm is a lot easier to get to. So maybe that was just his plan all along. Hey, let me get to the easy farm, not deal with those
yep.
little ceiling missiles.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised about that. Might also be taking the save before checking wave, because if wave beam turns out to just be an E-tank, might reset that E-tank. Not sure.
We'll definitely have to see how this goes, as our runners are once again going to be close on each other's heels. Audra had taken the save before that farm, and with speed in tow, the 100 or so energy they had would be plenty for wherever they want to go next. So potentially double reset. Potentially we'll see. It is an E-tank. Cross looks like he wants to keep that. See if Audra feels the same.
So the only potential gotcha down here is if they decide to go down and check the chronic portal. I think they would want to get out of here and take a save first, because if that happens to be like Lower Norfair, that would be very bad news.
Well, I can guarantee you that that's not Lower Norfair, because like I said, that's where the seed wanted them to go and not do these very low tank hell runs with only
Well,
2 logical tanks.
Well, the seed did give them speed boosters, so they can get to the
Not
cool side, right?
not in logic. That's like 4 takes and they had 2.
No, I meant the Norfair Reserve was speed booster.
Yeah, but they have 2 in logic tanks. That's not going to get you there.
I see what you're saying. I get what you're putting down. Though, would it get you to wave beam?
No.
Okay, well, there we go, folks.
And yeah, our runners have once again zigged and zagged. Audra wants this portal knowledge. And Cross is saying, let's just go over here, get 2 more majors, essentially, especially if we can get an energy refill here. We do not, but it is the better jumping apparatus. Goodbye, double jump. Hello, space jump.
Ooh,
Wow.
wreck ship.
So we're. If you are astutely following the logic, you can guarantee that this boss is killable. But even if you don't, pretty sure Audra has a save back in Bubble Mountain, so it's like risk free to do this. But yeah, this is gonna tell us a lot. decently likely that this is Fantoon, because in any boss mode that would open up Rick's ship, but we're gonna see potentially vanilla, potentially shifted, potentially shuffled. This some key information that we're gaining. First boss area that we've seen. And it is looking like, yeah, Fantoon. That was my expectation.
Yeah, if it wasn't Fantoon, I was expecting it would be shifted and this would be Kraid, actually, so that still killable boss, but would turn on the ship for more access to items.
Yeah.
So now that we've seen Fantoon, we can guarantee that our boss mode is exactly unknowable. Sorry, chat.
This cross, I believe, with the save is aided to Ice Beam with 22 energy. Is going to be able to get out with that E-Tank collected. So Upper Norfair, speed and space both very nice. Not necessarily what you were potentially looking for. Speed, lots of uses, especially in major minor. You're happy to have that before you find certain locations. One of them is the wreck ship that we're in because we have, a major locked up there, wreck ship reserve. Also, we have not seen Green Brinstar yet, another speed locked major. So certainly something that is going on in this seed thus far.
And Audra managing to dispatch Fantoon quite effortlessly. Well, a lot of effort in all of the training that went into being that good at fighting Fantoon, but makes it look just top notch.
Yes, indeed. We have.
And speaking of Green Bryn,
Yes, indeed. There it is at the Double Mountain Business Center. Sorry, Business Center left side. There's a grapple beam. First wreck ship major as Bacalor Norfer has been sighted.
that I believe we call the better side of Lore Norfair for Area Rando, maybe?
It is definitely the preferred method of entering and exiting Lower Norfair. Sometimes you don't have a choice. Sometimes you got to go all the way back to front. But yeah, it's much closer to the boss, and it does not involve Lava Dive or Amphitheater, both of which are essentially tricky rooms, especially without the various suit.
Absolutely. And Cross looks like skipping the pipe miner. Okay.
Yeah, as we saw Audra check the left super miner, you would probably prefer to have a third power bomb pack at this juncture of the seed. I think that's mostly what we were looking for. Obviously, we've got the starter charge plasma, so our beam damage not looking too paltry, as that was a beautifully executed attic strat. Even improvising a little bit with double jump, that was nice. Yeah, another minor check here, and we are getting rewarded with that third power bomb. Audra is potentially thinking about maybe, going without some of our key items here. The third power bomb pack unlocks the crystal flash in good ways. You don't have to do anything silly with regarding laying power bombs and collecting one to get back above or to 10. But yeah, we are going to be looking at attic here. Doing some farming, you definitely don't need to. Looks like what they want to do is the attic spark, which takes some energy. Did have the option as the charge was unfortunately missed. So just use the grapple beam, not take any damage. That's all that we got there. And there's the gravity suit. That is
That
quite
is not
defined.
insignificant because I believe Gravity Suit also provides a 25% heat reduction in this mode.
It has a chance to.
Oh, it has a chance to. So we won't know unless Cross enters a heated room. Got it.
Right. So far we found grapple. That puts the one E-Tank Audra had at X-ray in logic for our runners. Probably there's another E-Tank and then everything will be fine. It's almost impossible for there not to be another E-Tank. But Audra did do an interesting little check or ordering of these things. Checked right super and then just came up here to attic. More often than not, you typically see runners check the wreck ship E-Tank first. But on the occasion that there's an item around here that allows you to go to that back portal, this is a little bit more efficient routing wise. But these are the two
Yeah,
long
makes
checks
sense.
that people sometimes like to not do, as there is an
Yeah,
energy tank.
and interesting, as pointed out by chat, Cross went and pickpocketed Spore Spawn's item, which happened to be a power bomb, but did skip the pipe miner, which is just interesting to me.
Yeah, definitely a little bit of an odd choice, potentially getting things a little bit confused between Major Minor and Chozo. I would
Yeah,
expect
I think
someone
that
who
might
hasn't been
be
around to err towards Major Minor more. Oh my goodness, both suits are in Green Brinstar.
most interesting. So while wrecked ship was wrecked, I guess, but it looked like the way the logic wanted us to go, and it probably did for E-tanks, but not required to get where we're at, because logic can be ignored sometimes.
Almost exclusively can be ignored. There's nothing that this randomizer is doing to force you to follow the logic. It can just make things easier for someone who maybe isn't as skilled as the two runners you have on screen here. Those are some very tight hull runs. Obviously, the E-tanks that they got in convenient places allowed them to escape. But yeah, Cross says goodbye to everything. I'm done. I have
Yeah,
everything I need. And he's
all
gonna
right.
um essentially ahead pathing for quite a while. We will see how massively we'll see how important it is to have that wreck ship done at that time, as Croc is our greedier at the other end of Greenburn Star, which probably puts Cross back to wreck ship because you haven't checked that portal yet, but we'll see. And he will be able to look at the back of wreck ship with his gravity suit intel, which may or may not be
Yeah.
important.
He might go to the back of Rex ship, or he might decide to just take a quick trip down to Lore Norfair to take out the boss that's down there.
Oh yeah, I forgot he's going to be right next to Bacalor and Orpher here. That makes more sense to do since it's right next to you. Yeah, we have the makings of a tight one. It's more than likely that Audra is going to get to both of those suits pretty much as soon as they're done with Upper Norfair, but gonna be behind them. And did Attic, and like I was saying, those are the slower checks that people like to not do. Absolutely zero chance Cross does that with both suits. He's literally already in go mode. KFC misses that grapple beam, which is a little unfortunate, but not the end of the world. Um, Cross also could have elected to clean up that final West Meridia portal. He did see Pre-Aqueduct at the Green Hills, but yeah, probably like you said, he's looking at Lord Orfair here.
Yeah, I think at this point, Cross is just playing, I'm in go mode, I'm going to go until the seed makes me stop, which I don't think the seed can make him stop at this point. I think all the items required to beat the game are in hand.
Yeah, the biggest thing that's going to be difficult for our runners at this point, Kraid's Lair is all we need to find. My map tells me that it is at either the front of Lower Norfair or the back of Rex Ship, and the other side is West Meridia. Um, Audra, once they find Croc, will be able to suss out that getting that redfish portal. Oh well, no. Well, that the other option is that redfish leads to Kraid and that Lower Norfair and Rex Ship connect to each other. But probably Audra checks that redfish at the top of West Meridia and finds out what needs to be done here, which potentially helpful. Especially like if top of West Meridia is where Kraid is, might be a little bit before Cross gets there. It might be a little bit less convenient compared to you know how it happens for Audra. But there's a whole lot of different things that could happen from this point. As like I said, Cross is ahead, uh, almost definitely right now, and we're gonna have to see if routing
It all,
or
I was going to say, it all depends on where Kraid's lair is at this point, as far as calling who might be ahead. And let's see what that pipe miner was. It's just a missile. Maybe Cross did see that and I'm just blind. I
no,
have
you're
been
right. He
known to
didn't
miss
even try to
things.
look. He did not even try to look. Yeah. I think for Cross, the best thing that could happen is that Kraid's it back of Rex ship, and he just goes there and does it. I don't even think
Yeah.
Audra's going to pick.
I
Well,
was gonna
no.
say the other thing that Cross could end up doing is actually going to front of Lore Norfair and having that be back of Rex ship, and just that cleans up the knowledge for him, I think, and gets him into Rex ship where he's going to need to be anyway.
Yeah, that would also be good, but that's gonna make Kraid farther away from him. But he might be able to deduce that. I know he posted a tracking software that he made, so I do assume he is tracking these portals, and we'll be able to suss out the Kraid situation, whatever it may be, and however we end up finding that information out. But yeah, Frontalore and Orfair to Baccarat ship would be quite the long haul. Those are kind of, areas
Yeah,
that you would
those are.
rather not see, and they're kind of long to traverse. But we have everything we need. We have gravity, space jump speed. It's not going to be hard.
Yep, I think the only other item that the runners might want at this point, besides maybe a little bit more beam damage, would be the high jump boots.
Yeah,
And
you would
maybe
definitely
screw
like to
attack
have.
for Lore Norfair, I don't know, but I know I like screw attack for Lore Norfair just because I'm bad at this game.
It's also the case we just saw here. Cross did some farming, wanted to be at full supers, and did get a Ridley. Looking pretty likely that our bosses are vanilla here today. I was gonna say Audra has obviously already done wreck ship and done a little bit more minor checking. 40 supers to the 30 that Cross has, and probably a little bit more comfortable with the lower beam output that we have. May be able to save some time there, but quite a bit more item collection. And like we said, Cross is just already into Lower Norfair, and even if that's where Audra goes exactly next, it's gonna be a while, like multiple minutes before we get there.
Yeah, we'll have to see what's behind Ridley here. And, while we've been concentrating a little bit on Cross, Audra did get through Waterway, did get the gravity suit, has done the wave gate glitch, has picked up Varia, so has closed the item gap quite a bit at this point.
Yep, and same as Cross. Skipping everything else, it's completely unnecessary. There's an ice beam. That's beautiful. No need to worry about the much more difficult speed zeb skip. You can do the easy, comfy ice zeb skip that you've probably been doing since you picked this game up.
Also quite nice just for the Metroid rooms and being able to collect some drops.
Absolutely. So things are looking very good for cross product right now. Have to see again how this portal layout ends up is going to be one of the keys to how the seed finishes out. It's also the case that ice beam is quite time saving, and you may not necessarily be at the point of checking majors at that point from Audra's perspective, especially because of the completely useless trick in a wreck ship. Basically, that grapple is not necessarily going to pay dividends, and the bowling checks took a lot of time for a couple of energy tanks. So probably not feeling good about that.
Yeah, the grapple beam will save some time if Audra gets down to Lore Norfair and needs to farm up some supers. We'll be able to do so much faster than Cross was able to, but not, we're not talking about the amount of time it took to go clean up Attic in Wreck Ship.
Yeah, and as I expected, this is by far the best way to clean up your knowledge as far as portals are concerned. So once we get this, we're gonna know exactly what's going on. And like I said, best case for Audra is that this is Kraid. It's not. So Cross is making the play that he needs to make and going in front of Laura Norfair. This is where Kraid is hiding out. Once again, everything's turned up Cross right now. He's looking good.
Sometimes that's the way the seeds go. Everything, you just go all the right ways. And it's completely random. That's why we call it a randomizer.
Yes, indeed. So a little bit of careful taking care is required. obviously amphitheater in reverse, not necessarily something that you normally see, but in this case, it is required for our runners to do to access this crazy layer. And then we're gonna have to go back the other way. We do have space jump. We've got the best place to refill all of your ammo in the game, be in Kraid's layer, and yeah, we're gonna see that probably we're gonna have a Kraid and a Ridley fight on screen at similar times. Uh, so that'll be boss number 2 for both of our runners. And then Cross needs to do Wreck Ship, and Audra will need to do. They both have to do East Meridia, and then we'll have Kraid back here for Audra. I do not know how much ability Audra has to make up time that isn't just raw execution advantage here at the end.
Not very much, unless maybe Audra skips the major behind Ridley so it doesn't get ice. Even that, like getting the major behind Kraid. Yeah, I was gonna say that's not going to make up the time that maybe a high jump behind Kraid would make up. So.
Yeah. It's also the case that the later you get those good movement items, the less ability they have to save you time. High jump is one of those things that because we have speed, it's almost guaranteed to save time. And cross product is being extra careful here. It is the case that we've seen 2 vanilla bosses. All of our boss options are on the table here, but surprise would be the worst outcome for him. His beam is not super powerful. His super count is 7. So a little bit of time loss here, going through that mini Kraid room and then coming back here, taking the save, and then we're going to have to go through again. I do believe the doors are unlocked, but that kind of doesn't matter. You're going to kill everything anyway, especially because you want mini Kraid supers. So we'll see how this goes.
Well, we're about to find out what our boss mode is in a few seconds as soon as cross product enters this door.
Well, likely it's Kraid, and we're just technically not going to know because it could still be surprised, but it's probably vanilla.
Well, we can say definitively it's not shuffled.
Or shifted, correct.
But yeah, I think it's a very high likelihood, right around 90%, that it's going to be vanilla. Probably higher than that. I don't know. I'm not licensed to do math on stream, and that's really close to doing math.
In theory, it's 3-1. There's maybe some kind of conditionality that exists that makes that not true, but I don't have the degrees necessary to decode that. And Audra is going to get this ice beam. That is nice. And Cross is going to check behind Kraid, see if he can go 2 for 2 with nice rewards. This an E-Tank, so that one not going to help. Although the refill, considering where we're going, isn't bad. 3 tanks with this equipment, you would definitely be fine. You got to be a little careful in worst room, but I think both of these runners will be without issue. Yes, as Chad asked, it is possible to roll surprise and then still give vanilla. Exceptionally unlikely, given the number of permutations of bosses and only one of them being vanilla, but technically on the table. This Cross is continuing to do these major attacks. Interestingly, he does get screw attack. I do not think that is going to lose time for where they are.
No, he's still got to go all the way back through Norfair, or Lower Norfair, excuse me. So that screw attack is actually a very nice pickup.
Yeah, at worst, I'm going to say time neutral. Potentially, it's faster. Obviously, if you execute it badly without screw attack, it's definitely time positive, but that is not necessarily the case.
I agree with that, and I see that we do have a little bit of a math discussion going on in chat, and I will go with Tracy. If Tracy says the odds are X, Tracy is by far one of the most trustworthy people when it comes to that.
Yes. Former math professor as well. But yeah, our runners are both in Lower Norfair, head in different directions. Cross is going to try to do fast pillars despite the fact that he just picked up the screw attack. And yeah, he did the short charge attempt and then didn't even bother and was like, hey, I've got screw attack. Let's just jump through. Yeah, here is worst room in the game, looking like another room in the game with this item set. Only thing he didn't have for it is high jump.
Screw attack and space jump, I believe they would call that something like peanut butter and jelly. Just goes well together, maybe, if that's your thing.
They definitely have a long and storied history together. So from here, Cross has 2 unknown portals. Both of them are the wreck ship. I don't know that back to front is any slower than seeing the back leaving and then front to fronting because of the extra traversal to get to the front. So I don't even know if it matters which portal he takes, frankly.
Honestly, I think he'll take the portal that he finds first. Or if he goes and sees the back of wreck ship at Redfish after doing East Meridia, then that would route a little bit better to get back to Turian, I think.
I want to say, so definitely the last thing you want to do is the Aqueduct portal East Meridia front to front, because that's in the same place as Turian. So I think you definitely want to do wreck ship now. It's a matter of, does he stay in Norfair, which he does, and go to the unknown Chronic portal, or does he go back into wreck ship, or not wreck ship, Green Brinstar, and that would have led him to the West Meridia, where he also had an unknown portal. As Audra looked like they did not correctly menu to supers, and got a crate stand up. Not what they're looking for at this juncture of the race.
Possibly feeling just a little of the pressure of knowing the wreck ship play was just a complete waste of time at this point, and you know that can kind of rattle you a little bit. And being a little rattled, all it takes is that little bit. You miss an input.
Yep, as Cross is going this way, to my surprise. Especially because you have to gate glitch, it makes more sense to me to just go to the right and then down. If Chronic is where he's headed, which definitely the hope. As well as Cross has played thus far, a missed route at this point to lose a bunch of time will be very unfortunate. But very randomization.
I'm a little surprised by this much farming.
Yeah, again, he's worried about boss surprise and Ridley. That's the only possible reason I could ascertain for all of this farming. And again, it's both very unlikely that it is boss surprise versus vanilla bosses. I guess, well, no, he doesn't even know it's not like shuffled or shifted yet because he's only seen 2 bosses. So he's got less information than we do.
That is true, and I forgot, if you hit wreck ship first, there is no good place to farm supers in wreck ship.
Absolutely not. So yeah, surprise is definitely what's on his mind, and he's gonna do this wreck ship front to front. The farming as well as the gate glitching, I didn't think it was this close, frankly, because coming in here, killing the boss, and even just straight up leaving is gonna take some time. And Audra did not get the screw attack. No surprise for me there. Got the E-tank.
No, she did. It just hadn't been marked on the tracker.
Oh, there it is. Did get it. So yeah, very easy lower Norfair coming through. I think our runners are pretty close. And I didn't think that, a few minutes ago.
Well, this game is quite literally, I think, hundreds of rooms of anything can mess you up, and better execution over a long amount of time will make up for extra checks, for sure.
That's true. Also, like we stated it when Cross was farming in Lower Norfair, and then he farmed once again here in Upper Norfair. Audra has more total ammo, and its current ammo has been a little bit higher throughout, so that's something that will, add up over time. The big things matter in this game, and so do the little things. So we'll see, as Audra's going to be out of here in the Upper Norfair, and all you got to do is get back into the Red Tower for the end of the game, and both Croc and Single Chamber lead to Criteria, which is going to get you in the Red Tower. Suppose you could also take a West Meridia trip through to get to Red Tower straight away. Is that better? That's probably better. So
Well, I will take your word on the whatever way of area would make the most sense. But what I will say is we can compare when the two runners get to or beat Dragon, and that will tell us who's in the lead.
Yeah, probably even just stepping foot in the East Meridia. Their loadouts are identical, other than ammo and grapple, both of which are in Audra's favor, which is a little unfortunate for Cross. And yeah, I was saying it in my head, Cross had like a somewhat significant edge, and it's completely and utterly not true. Whether that has been lost due to execution or farming or some combination thereof, I am unaware. But it's also possible that this was just better routing wise. I hadn't quite accounted for that yet. But yeah.
Well, I will say routing in area is a huge thing, and it's a skill that is acquired through just playing tons and tons of seeds, I think.
Yeah, Audra went into the one west, was headed towards the one West Radio portal that wouldn't take you to a good place. We're gonna drop down. I would think, yeah, you're gonna go to Main Street. It's right next to the tube, which is where Aqueduct is. And like I said, the game is right before you. This is actually, yeah. Again, going into a door and backing out. As we can see, it's not necessarily the most impactful thing at this juncture of the race. But like we said, that Topper ship definitely weighing on the mind of Audra here. Also, not the right door.
Interesting that Cross is going back here to the portal. I think going to the portal, I don't think going back here to check just the E-Tank location.
It might be the case that this is actually good because, again, this is going to put you in West Meridia, where if you go into Upper Norfair, which is where the front leads you, you have to leave Upper Norfair, go into Criteria, and then traverse all the way to the other side. Whereas this puts you in the West Meridia, and then it's just a quick fall down, and you're already in Red Tower. So this may actually be faster.
You know what? It probably is faster. We have Audra already fighting Batwoon.
Yes. With 200 damage, Charge Beam, Plasma is capable of double hitting. I think it's a little bit harder on the Batwoon because, to my knowledge, only the head takes damage. Your Plasma, because Plasma's moving pretty quickly, so is Batwoon. But yeah, made quick work of that. We are going to see an X-ray scope there at the Batwoon E-Tank. I do not believe that is going to be collected with the grapple beam. You have a fast enough kill as well as the Shine Spark possibility, so running back in the fanfare, yeah.
Now with the grapple beam, no way. You don't go back for X. I wouldn't expect going back for X-ray for the microwave on Dragon if you have the grapple beam, though this could still be a huge shock if Audra gets down here and it happens to be Ridley.
Yeah. Audra actually... Oh, it's not... Well, I was about to say it's not really. That's what we were expecting. We were expecting Dragon, because I saw the fade out and you said Ridley, and I was like, it's not Ridley! It wasn't supposed to be. This is the expected vanilla bosses here in this seed. Yeah, I was going to say, Audra just did some low percent recently, so this is more than double the damage of the Charge Ice Beam that you would have in low ice. So, would have been annoying if this was Ridley, but not the end of the world.
Yeah, still with no ammo, I think it'd be a 90-shot fight, which is a little bit of time.
Yes, indeed. We have this very nice right side goop. I like it over here a lot easier. On the left side, you have to jump to get the quick grapple. Over there, you just stand up against the wall, and then Dragon grabs you, and then you press the shot button and you hold it.
Yep, and we see Audra already done with Dragon as Cross has entered the Batwoon fight. I think we can say Audra is pretty much in the lead. And by pretty much, I mean in the lead.
Yeah, pretty comfortably as well. Batwoon is being Batwoon and having a terrible hitbox that looks like your shots are hitting and they don't. As Cross entered with better ammo than Audra did and used all the supers. The snake is not dead. We're on the charge shots. We're even missing those. Got that one before the head poked in, as we are going to see a sneaky little quick high five here between our runners. Headed the opposite
Always
direction.
nice to see good sportsmanship with a high five.
Absolutely. A nice little spark there to get a farm. Cross is still being... Okay, it looks like Cross actually does want this X-ray. Chat correctly pointed out that our charge beam does 200 damage right now, so microwaving Dragon would probably take like 3 rounds because of how weak the charge beam is, so it's like especially not worth it. But obviously he doesn't have the grapple, we did talk about that, so a little bit more worthwhile, but probably still no. Your best bet would be probably sparking Dragon, which is a little bit uncomfy with no high jump, but can be done. Cross is very experienced at a lot of more esoteric things in Super Metroid. Famously did the dashless 100% category for a little while, which involves quite some shenanigans, including moon dance and elevator crystal flashes. So he's definitely good at the funky stuff. But
Moon dances and elevator crystal flashes. That sounds like it should be its own special category right there. And I think you said it was dashless, which seems odd to be in the dash tournament then.
there was some jokes about that in our previous tournament, dashless. But yeah, Cross, like I said, he likes to explore all of the vastness that is Super Metroid. You would think it's, there's some very famous video game challenges for not pressing buttons that you think you probably need to press to beat the game. And Cross is like, hey, what if we don't run in a platformer, which not only has a run button, but has an item that makes you go faster when you press the run button? So, yeah.
All right, that definitely sounds like a thing to do and a challenge, actually.
Yes.
And often players in these games are just looking for the next challenge, the next kind of fun thing, or just exploring, hey, can this actually be done? And it's really neat to see when they do it.
Yeah, that's one of the great things about Super Metroid. The question of can this be done, the answer is almost certainly yes. There's like nothing that stops you from doing anything, as famously you can do the 4 main bosses in the reverse intended order. You can actually, you can do them in any order, which makes sense if you can do them in reverse order. There's all kinds of crazy categories. You can glitch to the end of the game in like 5 minutes. You can press a certain combination of buttons and grant yourself every item if you enter a door the wrong way. There's just no end to the absurdity of options in this game. Absurd in a good way, though.
Yeah, I like to say that Super Metroid is a game that is broken in just the right way.
As Audra has 10 tanks worth of energy to damage down here on this baby skip attempt, and as you see, electing to take off suits and an X-ray, or not X-ray, a screw attack, looking for the easier baby Zeb skip coming up here.
Yep.
Interestingly, probably used to the different suit properties that exist in the Vari randomizer, where you do not receive any environmental protection from the gravity suit, which is what the baby deals. Only took the Vari suit off, but that's not as efficient in Dash, where gravity is 50-50 when it's by itself. So probably should have taken both off, but not a super huge deal.
Now, that would be on the order of what, frames to a second?
Yeah, maybe a couple of seconds because of how much damage done. But yeah, no big deal here. We are comfortable with what's going to happen here at the end of the game. Didn't quite get to full supers from Metroid drops, especially with some power bombing going on in the first room, but 200 beam, definitely nothing to sneeze at. There's only anything with plasma plus the new route beam that's more powerful than this. And yeah, 90 shots minus ammo, and we're gonna have over half of the fight being able to be done with the ammo we've collected. So not gonna be too long here.
Would it be fair to say that the thing that Audra needs to remember now is that she did take that Varia suit off?
Yeah, I didn't quite. I assume you really don't need to pause to turn it back on as long as you remember and don't damage down too far. I definitely would because I would forget because like
Yeah,
you
muscle
see the
memory
head
right
coming
there.
back and you just run into Mother Brain's knee a bunch of times because that's what you do. Yeah, Audra very very cerebral. I would expect them to know exactly the situation that they're in and be fine.
Yeah, I think so as well, but I think that's the last real challenge that might be here, unless there's some supreme shenanigans. But you can see even here, Audra not firing that one missile, knowing that it's not going to make a difference in the number of charge shots required to finish Mother Brain 2.
Yeah, some quick math to have to figure that out. Obviously, you've probably been calculating this since you hit the baby because you can pretty much know exactly where your ammo is going to be if you do the doors and the Mother Brain 1 fight in the same way every time. So yeah, it's funny because it's a 200 damage beam that one missile is all of the unnecessary ammo that you could possibly have, and that is the situation we ended up in. Okay, so are stopping at 729 energy. Looks like we are going to attempt some stand up. This is also a thing that is not necessarily, it's not 100% free, but I do know Audra even last year put in some work with the um, advanced manipulation. So I expect them to be fine with stand up. You can see space jumping to avoid the ground at certain parts of this cutscene. And there's some other nuances that I don't know, but someone smarter than me in chat probably could tell you, but I expect that
Yeah,
we will be fine.
I think positionally you can control where the baby comes in, attaches, detaches, that sort of stuff. But again, this is me looking at things. This is not stuff I can possibly dream of performing for at least forever.
Yep. So we are doing stand up. It's a very weak plasma ice beam, but it will save a few shots as well as you said. The cutscene manipulation, even without charge beam, does save a marginal amount of time. As cross product has also taken off screw attack and various suit. He's going down here with the charge method. If you do not have wave, your options are to stand under there and charge or to crouch and shoot. As the Rinko was definitely in the right place, but still a bit unkind to cross. He is going to try this short charge and then likely go for the ice skip again. I don't think he got that. Yeah.
Yeah, resetting the room also just to get rid of the acid to refreeze the Rinka, I think.
Yeah, if I'm waveless and I don't get it first try, I always reset the room. Even if I'm not necessarily worried about acid damage, it's just annoying to have everything. And Rinkas are firing you from places you're not expecting. Those little turret blasters are also in the way. Much more
Yep.
comfortable. But
And we
yeah,
see Audra through MB3 as Cross is about to start MB2.
yep. Mother Brain was dying on one side of the screen and coming to life on the other. But is going to be a quick race to the finish. We do not have high jump, but otherwise it's a very comfortable escape. Got to be a little bit careful in Leodox and morph ball as you charge your shine spark for fun. That's an extra down press there. We do have space jump though, avoiding the enemies here. I feel like when I don't have screw attack and I'm wall jumping around those things, the extended hitbox often leads me to hit those things even when I don't feel like I'm close enough to touch them. But better runner than I on both sides of the screen, frankly, avoiding that plague of a hitbox. And yeah, gonna have a spark up the climb. Nice behemoth spark all the way to the top right.
Yep, just got Parlor and a little bit of steam, and then we will be on the ship. Chat, I think you can get your GGs ready for Audra, who is approaching the ship now. No animals save, right? This race.
Animals do not see much screen time these days, but yes, that is a first place victory for Audra with an official race time of 1 hour, 3 minutes, and 36 seconds. Like we've been talking about, this was a close race. If you are at Mother Brain already in the fight and your opponent finishes, that was clearly one that stayed close throughout, and I was incorrectly under the impression that Cross was actually ahead, but essentially it was some farming, some execution, some routing that just kind of played better with the workshop already being done. But yeah, well fought race, and we are joined in the commentary booth by our winner, Audra. They may elect to stay around until Cross, or they can unmute and we could get our interview started. But
Oh, I was muted. Hello.
hello.
Hello, GG's.
Yeah, thank you. I was worried about this one because both the suits being in green been so late was it would have been pretty awkward to get there earlier. But it's like I took like the entire loop around the Red Tower, did everything possible before Upper Northshire, and that felt kind of bad. And then did all of Upper Northshire before. I guess you needed speed booster for the gravity suit. So, yeah, it would have been hard to get to the suits like an optimal amount of time. The fact that I cleared wreck ship kind of felt bad too. But yeah, I guess it would have been really difficult to really contrived to get the suits in a better way than I did.
Yeah, I actually, after Cross got the speed booster, I thought it looked like he was just leaving right there, which is definitely faster than staying and clearing. I think both of you had to do wave beam last of the 3 items over there. And yeah, I think wreck ship first is probably better, but obviously, like you said, Addict didn't feel good when you just find both suits for free over there. The in-game routing, I actually thought Cross was like somewhat ahead for quite a while because he did end up getting both of those suits before you. But at the end, you were much closer to East Meridia and Turian after the Lower Norfair and Crate plays. So yeah, it was definitely an interesting one.
I think I should have just done Lower Norfair right away without knowledge of the Redfish portal. Because front probably, even if it wasn't Crate, it would have given me info and then like told me where Crate was. So that was like the one thing in my endgame routing that I didn't really like. But,
yeah, I liked it because if Kraid was there, then obviously you saved the trip because you know the bad part of Lower Norfolk connects to the bad part of wreck ship.
Oh, you know what? You're right, actually. Yeah, because that's what I found there, right? It was bad wreck ship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it looks like I wasn't even paying attention to the credits. Charge, potentially the only charge was at Dragon.
It was the only charge, yes. Yeah, I saw that at the end, but like it was still a good skip because of the nature of like waiting for drops and the door opening and it was like it was the last boss. It was like Ridley. I was still missing ice, and it was nice to find there. And then Crane Slayer, I wanted energy to get back, and Screw Attack saved time on the way back through Lower Norfair. So it's like okay, perfect. But then by the time I got to Dragon, it wasn't worth checking things anymore.
Yeah, and there is Cross stepping on the ship, finishing just over 4 minutes behind a 107.42. Nicely done for Cross Product. GG's to him. We'll see if he also elects to come into the race room with us. But yeah, this was it's actually been several pretty close races, even amongst the higher seeds in this tournament so far. Nothing's easy right now, it seems.
Honestly, I blame Dutch pairings.
Yeah, I was listening to some people. They would seem to think that I'm sure there's multiple ways that you can do Swiss. The way that we've done it, basically every round is a 21 seed difference, which obviously like wherever the skill gaps exist, there's going to be some disproportionate, as well as the seeding isn't like a 100% accurate representation of current skill. So, crossproduct, who is joining us, has a lot of experience, but a lot of it has been quite a little bit. It's nice to see him back. GG's to you, Cross.
Hey, thanks a lot. GG, Audra.
GG.
Yeah, GG Cross.
Yeah, tell us what you were thinking about that one. It was quite the race to watch.
I felt really good about, honestly, it was just a clean run I did one practice seed, and I've been doing just like a little bit, like I had an SMZ3 tournament recently, so just not being completely rusty, but did a practice. It just felt really good. I kept really good track of the doors, and I felt like I checked the right doors at the right times. I just like I haven't joined too many tournaments lately, and I'm always having a hard time keeping track of the mode, and you guys just made it way harder.
Because you don't know.
Yeah. Or is it
and
easier?
It might be easier because it like sort of takes some responsibility off of you, like staying current.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's like,
but on the other hand, I definitely checked Spore Supers, but it was my third Power Bomb pack, so alright.
Yeah.
I don't find Ice Beam.
I almost forgot not to check that.
I got that. My mind was melting when I saw a Power Bomb pack there. I'm like, this is a glitch? What's going on? This is a major item, right?
Yeah, not quite.
I suspected pretty early on that it was major minor, like basically after the first 3 checks. I was like, this is going to be major minor, I feel it. But it wasn't completely ruled out. It still could have been Chozo for a good amount of time from the spots I checked.
It was major minor as soon as you saw Morphball pedestal not have Morphball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay, true.
It's because, like, if there's no countdown HUD, it's either major minor or Chozo, and Chozo has to have vanilla Morphball.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, that's right. Okay. Forgot.
The next Chozo item is Alpha Missile, which needs the morph. But yeah, it's like I was saying, it's been a little bit since you've been competing in the solo SM space, and it's nice to see you back. Obviously, we caught you a little bit at SGL. And I said at the beginning, you were the seed where it splits from being paired down to the bottom of the seeding versus being paired all the way up to the 1 seed. So a little bit unfortunate, but obviously in theory you'll have easier. Well, I guess by seeding you can't ever have a harder pairing going forward.
I honestly didn't even look at that stuff. I was like, all right, let me check the mode. Let me see if I need to set up a stream delay. Like, those are important things. I'm really happy though. Like, I felt really good about the routing. Keeping better track of my doors has been my goal since the last area rando tournament, and to lose by 4 minutes to Audra, I was just thinking, like, if I didn't even follow what's the format. Like, if this is double a limb, then like my next opponent's gonna be scared with me.
I know it's
right on.
It's Swift, so you've got 6 matches total, no matter what.
Oh, okay, cool, nice.
When you said I hope this is double limb, I thought you were joking.
I was just thinking that it wasn't gonna be as close as it was, but oh man, I did the math. I lost by 30 item fanfares. I don't think I picked up 30 extra items. Maybe like a couple E-tanks, definitely some missiles, and X-ray. Yeah, I saw Tracy in chat. I was reading at the chat after the race, and I scrolled up, and Tracy said, "Not with this beam combo." I'm like, she's talking about my X-ray pickup, isn't she?
Yeah.
I immediately, like, it wasn't. Yeah, I guess just like with 20 super missiles isn't that bad. I should have just farmed super missiles. Every other time I farmed super missiles, I got horrible drops though, so I don't know.
Yeah, the super missile drops, like, it's funny because there's quite a few places where you have like the 5 bug farms, but like the only one with good super drops is all the way in Lower Norfair, and you didn't have the grapple beam that Audra picked up in Wreck Ship, so it's a little tough to farm supers in a good way. And yeah, it looked like you were potentially worried about a surprise second Ridley for quite a while.
It was in crate. I doubled back and hit the save in crate just in case it was a double Ridley. But Honestly, at that point, it probably would have been better just to get a health refill, and that would have set me up because I had what 200 on beam, so it would have been fine.
I was not happy when I found Varia because I was just like, okay, well that like back-to-back gravity and Varia, that just undid all the equity of the E-tanks they spent the whole game picking up.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
E-tank after E-tank, I cleared top of wreck ship, 2 E-tanks.
I
I did early X-ray, which I was very bad at. I was an E-tank.
I don't
Yeah.
know if I was just really unlucky with catch-up double hits or if I just didn't understand the suit math. Because I look up on MB2 and I have like 400 health. I'm like, huh. And then I was like, I think I got hit by 2 catch-ups. Like maybe they both double hit, or maybe since I had Varia turned off, they were doing 200 base. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't think ketchup has special properties like Rainbow Beam does, so it's 400, 200, 100, I would assume. And yeah, in Dash, one suit, regardless of which suit, is half damage reduction.
Yeah.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, I think body hits are gravity is vanilla, but other than that,
Yeah, because people used to, like, in the very first Dash tournament, people were dying by running into Mother Brain with gravity.
Oh no.
yeah.
They were damaging down too far. It was honestly kind of funny, but heartbreaking at the same time.
Oh, sorry. Oh yeah, I
That's-
made sure to
Oh,
turn
also-
Varia back on at least.
I mean, I heard this at like the very end of commentary, but like you know the baby Metroid has like the rainbow beam properties of Varia, right?
I did not know that. I thought it was just environmental damage.
Yeah, that's why I only turned off Varia.
Oh, interesting. Today I learned.
Yeah, I honestly didn't know that, and all I said was, okay, now the real boss of the game is remembering that we've turned Varia off and either turning it back on or not damaging down too far.
Yeah, I've seen that mistake before. That was the first seed where I got the double jump. Pretty good. I liked it. I kind of like. I don't know if it has logic implications or anything, but it just felt good as a movement item just to get that one extra jump.
I think it does.
I also
Pretty sure
think
it
it
does.
does. But it's like worst room in the game item, which you found space jump, so it kind of didn't matter. And I think there's some X-ray implications, but almost no one cares about those.
Right. I was grinding out the early X-ray before the race, and if I had one E-tank, I would have gone for it. But like, I'm not gonna do this. I don't even think I had full health. I think I had like 60 health. I was like, all right, this is hecked. Just gonna move on with my life.
Yeah,
What
cross
was
with the
Audra's route? Because I thought that I was being forced in the Upper Norfair. I probably wouldn't have gone straight into Bubble Mountain if I had actually seen an alternate route. Or did you go like ship to Rick ship, like from the Croc door over to the LN door?
No, I full cleared all the things Red Tower led to. Did Gauntlet, then I had 3 E-tanks and double jump, and did Norfair right to left at that point. I did a wreck ship. I did a wreck ship after that, like finding it at Chronic, and I did wreck ship before finding Greenbrun.
Oh, okay. So I went through Speedway and went up the elevator, and you just went the other way, and we split from there.
Yeah, I guess so. I felt bad about the fact that I cleared wreck ship attic, and then that the Varia later meant that the 2 E-tanks didn't help. But I figured that if you had gotten to the suits faster than me, then you probably didn't do wreck ship at all, and you'd have had to go back for it at some point, and that was probably good for me.
Yeah. It wasn't really too good of a route to get back to wreck ship after the fact.
It's like the Chronic boost portal is like, it's a really bad one to isolate. Well, so is single chamber.
True. Yeah.
I
I just-
just
when
I've had such bad things happen from deciding, oh, you know what, like it's too far out of the way. We'll just not worry about it. Hope we'll run into it later.
Yeah. When I was cleaning up at the end, like I was finishing off Fantoon, and I'm just like, I can either go back to Chronic and like have to go through 3 different areas to get to Torian, or no, wait, I still had to do Dragon after that. So I actually, yeah, so I would have had to go like 2 or 3 zones no matter what. I felt like going Forgotten Highway was a little better, but hard to say.
I also thought it was probably a little better, but it was because it's like you're either doing like Norfair all the way across Criteria in the Red Tower, or it's the bad part of Wreck Ship, but then it's stored in West Meridia, and then you're right next to Aqueduct.
Yeah, the nice thing was that I had all the doors eliminated, so I knew I was coming out to Sephi Fish, which was kind of quick back to Red Tower from there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually not too bad.
It was just having to go through Forgotten Highway.
So when I went to a wreck ship, like when I was intending to save, so saves come in the Chronic Boost portal, and I completely did not I did not expect wreck ship to be Fantoon at all.
Yeah, you know what? Neither did I. Actually,
I was planning to
no, I
reset
did.
back to Bubble Mountain. Like the whole time, I was just like, "That's probably what's gonna happen. My health is low. I'm not gonna bother picking up these miners. I'm not gonna bother trying to get more health." And it's Fantoon, and it's like, okay, well, now I have no idea whether to treat this as vanilla bosses or not.
I actually was tripping because I got to Wreck Ship and the save station worked, and I'm like, "Is it double Ridley?" But then I guess the save station works because it's area rando.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think area or boss by itself makes
Yeah.
it work. Actually, you know what? That's a good question. Actually, I wonder if it just works in Dash. I wonder if that's the change they made, because they made some other changes like rolling saves work in if mystery rolls vanilla map, rolling saves still work.
Oh.
I just played a vanilla map seed. I don't remember if the bosses were in vanilla though. I was gonna say, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, you could just like straight up roll a vanilla map, vanilla boss seed, and see if the save station is on. It's actually some good info to have. That would also require you rolling a vanilla map and also like being a wreck ship early. So I don't know, but yeah, interesting to think about for sure. But yeah, this has been a fun interview. Appreciate both of you.
I've only done this is only my second mystery state I've ever done. So I've just been so busy I haven't had time to practice, and I really felt it during some parts of this race. But I actually I don't know if anyone noticed it. I had a really sick Ridley farm room.
Nice.
It's hard to describe, but I like set up my plasma to farm a bunch of the violas, and the last viola I farmed for a power bomb put me in the acid, and when I jumped out, it was like the perfect time for Zebo to flight me to damage boost to the Ridley door.
I definitely didn't notice that, unfortunately.
Yep.
It does sound sick though.
I could have maybe picked a better farm spot since I didn't have grapple. I don't know. I knew I was going to Lower Norfair when I went, so I probably should have planned ahead a little bit.
Where is grapple again? Oh, right side super.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess like when you did direct ship, you're just done checking things.
Yeah, I was done when I got Varia. I mean, I'd stopped looking for items.
Really? That's very interesting.
Yeah, I guess
I
was
still getting ice and screw.
I was looking for I was looking at like quick items like.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, fair.
But like I wasn't Even right supers is a little out of the way.
Right, supers is slow, yeah. But like that screw attack saved so much time.
Yeah, especially when I miss fast pillars. Like, it's okay.
Definitely a very conveniently placed screw attack. Adam, do you have anything else for our runners today?
No, not really. I just come in and calm and do the best I can, and then I saw that I made so many mistakes yesterday that DJ had to jump up here with me to make sure I was describing the game correctly.
And then I learned some things that I was wrong about too. It's the nature of things. You live, you learn.
Hey, if you got the title right, that's good. And even if you got that wrong, it's in the stream, so, no worries.
Look, I was just happy to see that Metroid finally learned how to roll or crawl. I don't know. Anyway, GG's to both of you. Good luck in the next round, both of you.
Yeah, thanks
Look
for
forward to seeing
commentating.
them.
Thanks for tracking Nubian as well.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes. Esteemed tracker, Nubian guy, doing a great job. Got a shout out for our runners in the chat. If you enjoyed the show this evening or day or afternoon, wherever you are in the world, give our runners a follow. There's also links to the Restream team, myself, JXV, and Nubian God. If you so inclined, you can follow us as well. We have several races on the docket tomorrow, starting at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time, going all the way down to 10 p.m. Eastern Time. Lots of crew we are still looking for tomorrow, so if any of our fellow tourney volunteers, runners, etc. are open, we have lots of spots available. Should be a fun couple more days of round one of the mystery tournament, and hopefully lots more exciting races will be in front of us. But until then, for GXP Adam, I've been DJ Webb, and we will see you next mission.
See you next mission.